at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
He have it, but he really don't have that spot he was when, like, he was in it. You know? Like, him going back and, like, fighting and stuff like that. I think that shit fucked him up.
If the guy gets beat up by Manny Pacquiao, right, it creates a tough situation. I feel like that was the bigger story. But is Floyd broke? What a stupid question. Are you a stupid person? Broke. He's a boxer.
Joe Rogan was talking with Gervonta Davis about the Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao rematch, and Tank was making the point that these big fights happening today are really just about grabbing money rather than being real efforts to improve and help grow the sport of boxing.
The industry world is just like, it's trash, bro. It's a whole bunch of...
Joe Rogan was praising Floyd Mayweather Jr. for how he stays active, fast and disciplined even after retiring, and for keeping his body in such remarkable condition.
What's in his body, and also that mindset of what he learned when he was in
Floyd Mayweather Jr. stays competitive by steering clear of unhealthy habits and sticking to a strict discipline which helps him hold onto his speed, stamina and sharp reflexes even though he has retired.
Everything. Discipline, knowing you're never going back to that. Don't buy anything stupid. Don't be dumb with your money. Don't be dumb with your body. Take care of yourself. Never get out of shape. Always keep your conditioning up. So when you go into camp, you're not struggling to get back in shape again. You're already in shape. Now you're just working on your skills and honing everything.
Max Kellerman says Floyd Mayweather Jr. still shows elite defense and speed, and he believes the fight with Manny Pacquiao could be exciting.
No, I think I would have always favored Mayweather to win the fight. The point is that because it happened after its expiration date, we will never have the actual answer. You and I might agree, Mayweather was too long, too good a boxer, you know, naturally bigger guy and better defense. But we will never actually know the answer to that question because we never got to see it 5 years earlier. Now, Shady makes the point, Malik, that this is not like Crawford-Canelo, and it's not. But it's also not exactly like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
It's nowhere near that stuff.
So what is it? What are we, because Netflix doesn't seem to care if this is more of kind of a carnival or an exhibition, or if it's like the greatest, biggest fight in the world. What they're looking for are eyeballs, right? Where does this fall, Mayweather and Pacquiao, on the most legitimate Crawford-Canelo side of the spectrum, or the kind of sideshow Jake Paul, Mike Tyson?
This believes the proposed fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao mainly revolves around making money.
You need the money. I'm telling you.
Does he have a chance to win though?
Top Rank ain't playing like that, and they ain't playing no like that.
So you don't
see.
Bill Sonnen argues that criticism is unnecessary because every professional works for income, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. fights because boxing remains his profession, so they are not paying him like that.
Up every day and go to work. Why are you going to your job next week? Why will you be at your job the week after that? Because you need the money. What's wrong with that? And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy. He grew up in a boxing channel, right? It's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. He got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean?
Meanwhile, Manny Pacquiao says victory would inspire the new generation and show determination, discipline and ambition to the younger fighters entering professional boxing today.
A very good inspiration for the young kids. Not only to all the boxers, but also to the people who have dream. Even though I'm 46, if you're still dreaming in your life, you can make it.
Few things resonate more deeply than watching someone defy the odds and triumph. For many fans, and especially for Filipinos, Manny Pacquiao embodies hope, pride, and the possibility of rising above it all.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. during the discussion explains that a rematch between them would not truly damage either fighter's legacy. According to him, both men have already secured their place in boxing history through decades of elite performances and historic victories. He reminds listeners that he clearly won the first fight and still appears physically fresh compared to many retired fighters, and because of that a second fight would be more of a spectacle rather than a defining moment for their careers.
If Pacquiao were to beat Floyd in this exhibition or fight or whatever they're going to call it, do you think it shouldn't? But do you think that affects either one of their legacies?
No, not at all.
No,
that's
not
we talking about grandfathers. We talking about grandfathers fighting each other. That's what we talking about.
It's not. Come
on, man.
Wait. I said, it's the zero line. Little bit.
No.
I'm not saying it's a transformative thing, but to say it doesn't affect it at all is probably not right, and I'll tell you why. Because if Pacquiao should win, for example, there will be those who say, well, when Mayweather beat him the first time, they were both past their primes. Certainly Pacquiao, who had been destroyed by Marquez, right, knocked out, was not the world-beating terror. Yeah, and the rotator cuff, but he was a world-beating terror 5 years before that.
Same time, he admits that public perception could still shift slightly depending on the result. If he is somehow defeated, some fans may start revisiting the original fight and questioning the timing of their first meeting. Critics might argue that when he won the initial bout, both fighters were already past their absolute peak years. Others might recall that Manny had previously suffered a devastating knockout loss too, which some believe affected his momentum going into the matchup, but he still stresses that boxing history is already written for both champions. The achievements of Mayweather and Pacquiao across multiple divisions cannot be erased by a late career exhibition-style fight. Even if the outcome surprises people, their legendary status in the sport will remain intact.
Manhattan and beating them worse than Floyd was beating them, right? That's when we wanted to see the fight happens 5 years later.
Right. Yeah.
So people will point to that and say, and then when they were much older than that, but the first fight wasn't like,
they both was in their prime.
yeah, and neither was it lopsided.
It wasn't lopsided.
Floyd Mayweather won decisively, but he'll even tell you that was one of his trickiest fights.
That's the only reason why I think it shouldn't be a second fight, because to me, Floyd handled him so easy.
But think about what Max is saying.
Pacquiao said otherwise.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, people, if Pacquiao wins a rematch, because I agree, it's like with an asterisk, but if he does that, it will affect people's thinking a little bit. Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, it's not nearly the same. They were in their 30s, not their 80s or whatever these guys are in now, but Hearns got Leonard in the rematch, even though it was called a draw, and people look at Hearns a little differently vis-a-vis Sugar Ray Leonard than they did before that fight.
But that was more competitive, I would say.
During his analysis, Luke Thomas explains that modern entertainment platforms constantly push large amounts of content to keep audiences engaged. According to him, this non-stop stream of events can sometimes make everything feel less special and slightly dull. He believes many people are now drawn toward nostalgia because earlier eras of sports and entertainment felt more vibrant and memorable. While Luke Thomas admits that this observation is mostly personal rather than backed by hard data, he still argues that something about modern life makes the past appear more exciting and appealing. When discussing the possible rematch between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, Luke Thomas says the real motivation behind such fights often comes from the business side of the industry. He explains that companies like Netflix are eager to enter the live sports event market because Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao still carry global name recognition. Combining them in one event could attract a massive audience even years after their
No, but there just appears to be a great need among the broader public for nostalgia and for a different time, because that time felt more alive and colorful. I don't have hard data to support this. This is very much an anecdotal observation, but I do think it is true. There is something off generally about modern life that is making the past more palatable than the present. But reason number 3 is the one I actually really want to focus in on. I asked earlier, why is this fight being made? And the answer is, on some level, relatively obvious. As I mentioned, they're broke, blah, blah, blah. But the other one is like, why is Netflix making this? Well, they want to get into the big live event business, and Floyd still has some popularity, Manny still has some popularity, and then together they might be bigger than the sum of their parts individually, certainly.
Luke Thomas also highlights how streaming has changed the economics of boxing in the past. Fans needed to pay high pay-per-view prices to watch big fights. For example, the original Floyd Mayweather vs. Manny Pacquiao fight in 2015 cost around $100, which created a huge barrier for many viewers. However, when a fight appears on a streaming platform like Netflix, millions of subscribers can watch it without paying extra because of this lower barrier. Luke Thomas believes promoters now focus more on recognizable names rather than competitive matchups. He points to events involving Jake Paul and Mike Tyson as examples where enormous audiences tuned in despite the fights being widely criticized for poor quality. According to Luke Thomas, this shift raises an important question about whether streaming platforms are improving boxing or simply producing events that attract attention without delivering the level of competition fans truly want to see.
Made. I mean, in the end, it might actually get made because these guys need money. There might be enough people who buy it to kind of make it work, or to, at a bare minimum, get an investor to put the money up. They lose their money, but some effort at making it is possible. But that would be a much harder slog. This fight doesn't have that problem. You don't have to pay for pay-per-view. Yes, you have to have a Netflix subscription, but a lot of people do. It's the biggest streaming platform in the world. The incentive structure in place created by streaming platforms that are just looking for big name value, what will get people to tune in, what is a pairing that is available, just based on contractual.
During his discussion, Chael Sonnen explains that the financial numbers often mentioned in boxing are not always what people believe them to be. According to Chael Sonnen, fighters can earn huge paydays, but the structure of boxing finances is complicated and sometimes misunderstood by the public. He suggests that even though Floyd Mayweather reportedly earned massive amounts during his career, the real financial situation behind the scenes can be very different from the image presented to fans. Chael Sonnen also addresses the claims involving Floyd Mayweather and Showtime, where Floyd Mayweather has argued that the network did not fully honor an agreement. However, Chael Sonnen notes that public sympathy for Floyd Mayweather can be difficult because similar accusations have appeared in other situations. For example, controversy once surrounded payment issues involving Logan Paul after his exhibition bout with Floyd Mayweather.
Of course Floyd's broke. Would you be boxing if you weren't? And it's very tough to be sympathetic to Floyd. So Floyd is arguing that he was robbed by Showtime. That he had a deal that Showtime didn't argue. He's arguing this. And who's making that argument and where that goes? I'm just sharing, like, in public opinion, it's very hard to be sympathetic towards Floyd when Floyd, as a promoter, stiffed Logan Paul. Like, to argue this guy in boxing cheated me and I trusted him, when it's being argued that you, who were the trusted one, cheated another guy, it's very tough. And by the way, there's also headlines out there. Floyd Mayweather owes Logan Paul $1.3 million. No, he doesn't. Just to clear that up, no, he doesn't.
According to Chael Sonnen, the situation is often misunderstood.
Just to clear that up, no, he does not. According to Chael Sonnen, the situation is often misunderstood. He explains that the reported debt was connected to a promotional company rather than Floyd Mayweather personally. In boxing, promotions function as separate business entities and financial obligations often belong to the company rather than the fighter himself. Because of this structure, Chael Sonnen argues that the economics of boxing are extremely confusing even for experienced observers. Another point raised by Chael Sonnen involves multiple fight announcements. He explains that if a promoter schedules a fight, such as an event involving Mike Tyson, announcing another bout beforehand can disrupt the business arrangement. Chael Sonnen says that when Floyd Mayweather later announced a fight with Manny Pacquiao, it created complications for other possible matchups. In the end, Chael Sonnen believes the situation highlights how complicated and unpredictable the boxing industry can be. Contracts, promotions and scheduling decisions often overlap, making it difficult for fans to fully understand the real story behind major fights involving figures like Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Mike Tyson.
Gonna get it. That promotion's already shut down. Allegedly, by the way, yes. But I'm just sharing with you, like, no, it's not the same thing. It's an entity. Floyd didn't know what was going on. And Logan's a very smart guy. It's not like he ever would have trusted Floyd to know what's going on, but he trusted Floyd's people, and you do take a level of risk, and you think you're dealing with an honorable guy. It's one of these things, and Floyd didn't know where the money was. I don't suggest for you that Floyd grabbed the money and ran off and kept it from Logan. Floyd didn't know where the money was. There's very few people that understand the economics of boxing, by the way. It's a very complicated thing. Would you like to explain it to me? You're a big boxing aficionado. Would you like to explain to me the economics of boxing? It's a very confusing thing. Which is one of the reasons that it's very easy for somebody to be skimming.
Clemens emphasizes that Floyd Mayweather Jr. could be putting his flawless professional legacy on the line by stepping into a rematch. According to Clemens, Mayweather built his reputation through years of disciplined performances and an unbeaten record that became a major part of his identity in boxing history. Entering another high-profile bout means that reputation now carries real risk. One unexpected moment inside the ring could change how that record is remembered. Clemens explains that while the financial rewards and attention may be tempting, the decision still comes with consequences. In his view, returning to compete again shows confidence, but it also means Mayweather must protect the legacy that made him one of boxing's most successful champions.
Later, when both men are about to hit 50, here we are. Okay, that's the hype of this. That's the interest of it, right? Two of the biggest names in the history of the sport. They're both old, we get that, but they're both doing this in a pro fight. This will not be an exhibition, it'll be a pro fight. So it is gonna go on someone's record. Could Manny actually take Floyd's O away? And here I am getting drug into this thing, and you know what? I'm not even mad about it because I understand what it is. It's not gonna be the highest level of fight between these two, and I don't think it sullies their name any worse than what Floyd was doing with John Gotti III. No offense to top 3 black person of all time, but Deji, some other fights that no one really watched or cared about. Floyd did that to himself, but he still has the drawing power across from his greatest rival in Manny Pacquiao to make this.
Whatever the hell, man, look, was he doing it for the money? Hell yeah. That's how you go in. That's how you can't go in. But the perception is, oh, okay, look at this young, hungry fighter. Yes, young, hungry. Then all of a sudden you're supposed to get fat and full and not want to do it again? Tell you right now, if Canelo said, Triple G, let's do it again for the 4th time. Care how much money Triple G got. It shouldn't be a social pressure that, oh, what's wrong, Triple G? Why are you fighting him again? You know, we ain't doing that to Canelo because we like, well, Canelo still want it. Canelo still got it. Canelo's still going. What if Canelo need the money? Who cares if you need it? You can get it. Dog, don't let somebody talk you out of your money because they say, what you doing it for? What you doing it for? Oh, you lost sight of it. So you're supposed to hate money now if your name is Money Mayweather. I understand y'all like, well, that ain't why he doing it. You don't know that. It sounds good, you'll win the barbershop. Trust me, everybody gonna be clapping and laughing at you when you're there. But you don't really in your gut, gun to your head know that. You just saying that's the narrative. How about this? What if his accountant called him and said, Floyd, we only got 100 left. Only 100 million? Yeah. But guess what? Jake Paul just made that in one night. Got his jaw dislocated, but hey, what's up? I got a call from my boy, he, CEO of Netflix. He said, is Floyd still training?
Meanwhile, one analyst points out that if Floyd Mayweather's work is boxing, he will continue to do it. Age or past achievements do not change the reality that work is work and everyone must earn a living. The analyst emphasizes that Mayweather, despite being older now, still has responsibilities and financial obligations, making it necessary for him to stay active in the sport. Boxing has always been his profession, and turning away from it is not a practical option when money matters. Fans may critique the choice, but from a professional standpoint, he is simply fulfilling his role in ensuring he can make ends meet. Alright everyone, stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Ring Headquaterzz and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.